Hello, this is Danny. Welcome to a whole nother awesome review. Today I will be reviewing The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. So, let me just begin here by saying that this film was fantastic. I loved the use of CGI and practical effects in this movie. Peter Jackson really used it to his full advantage. You can see how he really uses CGI in this movie. The CGI characters in this movie I feel very alive in this film. The battle scenes are fantastic. The conclusion to this series is phenomenal. It's like a full circle from beginning to end. It's like if you watched all three Hobbit films in order, beginning with an unexpected journey, and then the desolation of Smog, and then this movie, you would have a final conclusion that is very, very fulfilling indeed. And you can just go from these three movies to The Lord of the Rings because Peter Jackson just connects these movies together in a fantastic way. The direction in this film is fantastic. The conclusion is fantastic. What more can I say about this movie? I saw this movie in 3D at high frame rate. The high frame rate really adds to the experience, and I think it makes the 3D even better, in my opinion. Just watching the action scenes in high frame rate looks amazing, especially the dragon at the beginning of the film. It's really a great film. I have to say, if you haven't seen this film, please go out and watch it now. Really good movie. The dwarfs in this movie are hilarious. I don't want to give anything away too much about this film, but Bilbo in this film was really explored in this film. It's basically a conclusion to this series. You really feel for Bilbo in this film. There's a lot about Bilbo in this movie, and his character basically. And it's about trusting people and everything, and how money can become addicted to people. The King of Dwarves, of course, gets addicted to the treasure, and he wants to keep all the treasure for himself. It's basically a sickness, as Gandalf explains in this film. Really great series. I don't want to give too much away and tell you guys about everything, little minor details in this film, but I have to say the direction of this film was phenomenal. The CGI in this film is phenomenal. It really, really utilizes the CGI in this movie. The battle scenes are epic. They really explain a lot in this film, things you want to know. I don't want to give too much away because I'll ruin the film that way. But I would say that I have to say, after watching all three Hobbit films, I feel very satisfied, and I can't wait to get all three of them on Blu-ray disc when they come out and watch them in order with The Lord of the Rings, because that's going to be awesome. I want to get the extended cuts though. I really want to see what the extended edition of this film would look like. I really like the theatrical edition, but I would love to see the extended edition of this final conclusion. But I have to say, really great film. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm going to say definitely go out and see this movie. If you are either a Hobbit fan or just a Peter Jackson fan, or if you just want to go out and watch a great film, this is the movie for you. This was a really good movie. Of course, I would say watch the first two movies first and then watch this movie. Don't go into this movie without watching the first two Hobbit films, because this film directly connects to all two of those. And it really really is a conclusion to the series. So it really adds to the character's depth in this movie. The second film was very much about Smaug. This film is very much about Bilbo. And I would say, like, each film has its own kind of thing going for it. Like, I would say the first movie was about, Bilbo changing, becoming. In the first movie, here's Bilbo, and he does not. He does everything the same every day, like any Hobbit does, and he goes on this epic journey, with these dwarves and Gandalf, of course. And what we get in the second film is very much about the dragon, and I would say this film is very much about Bilbo and how it comes full circle, how he becomes basically a different person than he was who he was at the beginning of the film. Bilbo is a different person in this movie than he was in the first film, which is very interesting because it's kind of a character change, which is really nice to see. And phenomenal acting in this film. And I gotta say, 10 out of 10, hands down, Peter Jackson gave an amazing conclusion to the series. My favorite out of all three of these films has to be The Desolation of Smaug, and then I would say this film, but I like Desolation of Smaug and this film equally because I almost feel like these two films go together like salt and pepper, basically. This is a conclusion to what happened in Desolation of Smaug, where the first film, it feels very much like the Fellowship of the Ring, where it's basically an introduction to the characters. And we get into these characters more within the second and third film. So definitely go out and see this movie. Amazing. And have an awesome night, everyone.